Peace, y'all. So I am Campson the Oracle, in case you didn't know. I am informal as fuck. If this is your first time meeting me, this is how the fuck I am. This is how I show up, and it is what it is, and it's beautiful, and it's credible, and if it don't resonate, keep it moving. I'm taking time out of my day to share my precious energy, my time, and I just want to say, I asked myself this question today: who heals the healer? And I had a bomb-ass conversation, mini conversation with one of the healers that I work with. And it had been on my mind, and he texted it to me, and I was like, yo, that's something I need to pay attention to. Who the fuck heals the healers? Right? Because we're going through this awakening, and we're realizing, yo, hold up. Man, I just realized something. I don't need to change who I am, but I just need to work on being who I authentically am. So it's not about changing who you are, right? It's just healing and peeling back the layers to see who you are. And that's what's going on. People feel like they don't have one of the most basic things that every living being on this planet should have, and that is a fucking voice. People resonate with me because I use my voice to awaken intuition, to awaken wisdom, to awaken creativity, to awaken inspiration, to awaken love, to awaken compassion, to awaken my ability to see my shadow self and not feel disgusted. The society's programming, among many other things, has caused us to feel so fucking inferior, where we stop using our voice to empower ourselves and others. And you, even if it is unconscious, you're probably doing this. But if you do not consciously choose your internal and external dialogue, the fucking dark matter that has been weaponized and the archonic energies will use that shit, because to the universe and to certain entities, energy is just energy. They don't give a fuck who it is, who it hurts, who it helps. This is what I have learned from working with angels, working with demons, working with spirit guides. Like, none of that matters. Everything is frequency, energy, and vibration. Everybody watching me right now, be honest. You've awakened to the fact that you are a healer, but you know that you need healing, and you don't even know where to start. You don't even know what to do. You don't even know, because the internet, as beautiful as it is, it makes it fucking confusing. It's like walking in a store to get a jogging suit, and it's 70,000 jogging suits in that store, all made by different people, the exact same color you want, with small, with small differences in the detail. That's what the internet is like. So we don't know what to do. The toxic positivity is like, that shit played out. The conscious community is not what we thought it was. That shit played out, right? But what is the real issue? The real issue is people feel like they don't have a voice. When you have been shamed, when you have been made to feel like the shit that you say is stupid, when you've been made to feel like you're just a fucking weirdo and you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist, hey, but we winning right now, right? When you've been made to feel bad for being a witch, hey, but we're winning right now because we're learning how to heal ourselves. Let's stop trying to put shit in cute little boxes with tags on them saying, this is demonic, this is good. This is demonic, this is good. Truth is not absolute. It depends on, from the perspective in which you are standing, what you see could be an optical illusion that you're believing to be true. But I may look at it and say, oh, that's an illusion. That's not real. That's not a real problem. That was just something you didn't know how to deal with, and I'm gonna help you deal with it, right? And so I've really been thinking for the past few days, you know, we having the solar eclipse and shit energy. So my conscious mind has been on overdrive, and I'm going to work on that. That's why I'm doing this now, getting all of these channeled messages out now. This eclipse energy is really hitting me hard with a lot of information. Who heals the healers? Start figuring that part out. Okay? Start there. Having a voice. Do you really feel like you have a voice? Like if you like me, you know my story, right? Abuse on every level, from every angle, whether it was a family, a friend, a stranger, right? And I just, throughout my whole life, right? And these things, they add up. They add up and they build up. If you try to keep going, because the 3D matrix is like, no, bitch, get on the treadmill and run, because you got to make sure that you get rid of these calories, and you got to make sure that the number on the scale fits into something that makes you feel like you've achieved something, right? No, bitch, you need to hit that clock because your baby got medicine that they need and you don't have the money to pay for it, so you need to punch the clock. You need to get a second job. You need to get a third job. Bills steady coming. You know, and then you got all the other stuff happening in your personal world, and it can be a lot. And so for a lot of us that awaken, like we jumped in with 2 feet and was really excited to experience something new. But when you start shaking, a container that's just been stagnant, all the shit that was in the stagnant water, creatures and entities, microorganisms, all types of ancient shit that was just settled down at the bottom. Now you're awakening, so this is the great shaking. This is the shakening. The shakening. That shit feel like Shawshank Redemption. I don't remember what that movie was about, but it was a horror film. I feel like that's what life has become for a lot of us. So we turn it off. We push the cute little button for the positivity, right? Because people keep telling us your thoughts, right? Your thoughts create things. So let me be positive, be positive, be positive. But you're not acknowledging the voice of your younger self. Yourself from last year when you got raped by your husband. Yourself 5 years ago when your wife fucked your best friend and left you. Yourself 10 years ago when you were told that you could not complete getting your college degree because your illness is causing you to miss days from school. That's real shit. That's a personal story for me. And no matter how many times I would go back to college, I would even get on the dean's list. I was a fucking overachiever because I was never good enough for nobody. Right? So they turned me into a perfectionist. It turned me into a workaholic. It turned me into an overachiever. And I will fucking kill myself just to prove a fucking point. Because at the root of it all, I did not feel like I was being heard or being seen. When you come to me for spiritual help, you're coming to surrender yourself to be seen in the fullness of who you are. And because I know we carry toxic amounts of shame and guilt, especially around simple things like our body, right? Our sexuality, our sensuality, the way we connect with people, just shaming on every level. We ain't even gotta get into body shaming. It's a whole other conversation. But just being born into a female's body, that shit comes with a lot. To be born into a family where sex has been repressed, shamed, oppressed, and thus now it becomes profane and perverted. And you're this cute little kid. You don't know why you manifested these situations, right? So everybody got a theory. Everybody got a theory. Like, I have went into overdrive doing research from Carl Jung to the left-hand path to Wicca to ancient Kemet to dealing with the Loas, dealing with the Orishas, dealing with the Hindu pantheon, dealing with shit that some of y'all probably never had heard of. And what I realized is that we suffer for not being seen and not being heard, not having a voice, not feeling like we have a choice. And that is the story of my life. So I have been a transparent, open book, and I have given way more energy out than I had received, I must be honest. But that's on me, right? But I'm about to fix this. I'm about to fix this. Who heals the healer? Keep that in mind, because that is what started this conversation. And that we don't have a voice, and we don't feel like there's nobody there to support us with that voice. And so we got this whole cancel culture thing. Like, we're just lynch mobs and shit. We just lynch people online. You know what I'm saying? Online lynching, you know, anybody can get it type shit. So like, we're really savage and barbaric, and we're fucking chaos beings. We are. I mean, like, we gotta stop putting shit in cute little boxes and just let shit be what it is. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because most of the trauma that we deal with, it came from other kids. Kids said and did the worst shit ever, including this one right here. It starts with you. First, you got to accept the fact that not only have you been abused, but you have been the abuser. I don't know one person on this planet who has not played both roles. Let's stop with the boxes, because if we do the box thing, then you got to apply it to children. And if you really look at it, we have been perceived to be demon seeds. Look at how we got beat and whooped, and it was called love. Look at how we got punished. I'll never forget, I had to eat an amount of spaghetti that made me so sick. I threw up until there was nothing left to throw up. And at that point, it felt like I was throwing up my insides. Never forget that. I was 12 years old. And I didn't even do nothing wrong. But I was able to process that later and say the people who was trying to take care of me was doing the best that they could. And I'm still here. So we must get to a place where we stop with the boxes and the titles and shit. That shit is for clothes and clothes only. That shit is not for souls. Boxes and titles are not for souls. Leave that shit on clothes. Leave it there. Otherwise, we put this pressure on each other to be perfect. Because you might get online lynched in this bitch. This is the underworld. This is that do-wop, the apocalypse, where everything is crazy as fuck. Nobody can hide anything, and you can clearly fucking see the pain that people are going through when our teenagers and our kids start shooting up heroin. That is a pain that most people who speak on should not speak on. Stop speaking on shit that you ain't experienced. Because you're adding to the issue. Kids aren't demonic. Maybe as a kid, because we didn't have as much of the programming, we channeled these demonic archetypal energies, you know, whether that was bullying and all that shit. But if you really, really look at it, it was necessary. That was necessary trauma. I know some of y'all might disagree with this, but the shit was necessary. And it's like when you super Satan, just like the anime, like there has to be some type of catalyst to cause the chemical reaction within the soul to happen, so even though you created all these compartments, it was for you to survive. And now you're integrating, and you're like, okay, I can be the Virgin Mary and I can be the Sacred Whore, right? I can integrate. I can be both. I can be whoever the fuck I want to be, right? And so the people who are stuck in the old mindset of the 3D world, they don't want to accept this. So they are pushing back. And so we are seeing the ugly come out of people because, we were in this fucking illusion. And, Maya broke. The Saturn-Jupiter conjunction and many other dates, if you go back on all the videos, like, when I tell you, I've put in so many hours into helping people to awaken to the truth. That shit gone. That's why relationships ain't working no more, because the shit that you used to use for your relationship to work, that shit is not gonna work now. This is a whole different reality. Have you not realized we're in a parallel reality, and we're shifting realities from day to day? Let me let y'all get a quick little shot of the strange, because, you know, I just so happen to pull up right here, and this is what I see. Yeah. Y'all see that? So, I wanted to get on here and say, yes, I have been a voice for the voiceless. I see people who are afraid to be seen because they have been told that what they look like is disgusting, ugly, bad. And it could be all of those things. But if nobody ever sees you and all they ever see is your mask, your false self, you're never going to become the person that you desire to be. You have to be seen. You have to be heard. Make your voice be heard. I help people find ways to make their voice be heard. I've been thinking like this for days. Like, what the fuck do I do? What do I help people do? Like this shit wasn't planned. This shit just happened because I surrendered to the process. And then I started fighting psychic attacks, energetic attacks, and I was just like, this is a different dimension that we're in now. And so the covering that we used to have, we don't have that covering. Now you have to learn how to protect yourself psychically. You have to cover yourself, cover your children. Like, this is their energy. Like, y'all was on automatic, but motherfucker, your shit is changing to manual, because y'all will rule star systems. Y'all will become celestial bodies. And if this is how the fuck you carry on with your body, this is your practice. This is the school, so get your practice in. So now that I have figured out who I am, that's just a piece in what I do. And that is all that I will be doing. My doctor told me that I need to sleep 10 hours. She's like, you need to sleep 10 straight hours. Maybe more than once. I had the term, I'll sleep when I die, right? I'm paying for that now. I'm paying for that now. How do you deal with that? How do you face the fact that you've been sabotaging yourself? Who heals the healer? So healers, it's time for you to stand up and be heard. Do whatever the fuck you gotta do to be okay for you. Fuck everybody else. I mean that with love. Can we lovingly tell people to fuck themselves if they're not being supportive of what's the transformation is happening? Yeah, we can. I would like for you to mind your own business, and I'm gonna mind mine. Thank you. It's simple. And disconnect. Empaths, intuitives, disconnect. This metaverse shit is, I'm starting to feel the impact of having that here. I don't know how I'm gonna deal with it, but I'm gonna deal with it, right? We're going to deal with this shit. So detach, unplug, cut cords, snatch them bitches out, cut the power off. Like, cut all of the external shit off and just sit with yourself. Just spend some time with yourself. So, I'm going to share on Patreon, I'm going to share a grief ritual. This grief ritual is necessary. I'm fucking mad, dry my lips out so much. But the grief ritual is necessary because it will allow you to truly feel gratitude. You can't feel that shit for real when you're grieving shit that's happening to you every day and you don't get the opportunity to grieve it. A lot of us are depressed because we don't process emotions. We store them. The memories that you have that are coming back, we're all being triggered. Just know that the emotions from the memory is a separate thing. And you can separate the memory from the emotion, and then you can isolate the key factors in that event and then go back and reprogram the event to happen in a way that's in alignment with who you are. This is how you quantum shift yourself into your own timeline. I'm going to upload that on Patreon. If you are not on Patreon, you definitely want to get on there, because people got to start paying me for what I do. And people should start returning energy for what you do. This shit is about love being the currency, and us being able to do that in any form or fashion. It's not just about money and dollars, right? We will be bartering a lot with this reset and the economy changing. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. And if you've been having any of the issues I talked about, you probably need a grief ritual. You need to process that. And then you need to call in your shadow self as your ally and stop being enemies with your ego and your shadow self, false self included. I buried my false self with love. I buried her. I don't visit my burial, but I did bury her. You might need to do that. That's on Patreon as well. But what's coming next is processing the grief. And if you have to do it every day, that's fine. You know, it's okay. Like, we got to stop judging our process. That too. And that is the toxic side of the conscious community, is we become very fucking judgmental of each other's process of healing. And it's just like, you have not walked a day in my shoes. How the hell can you tell me how to heal? I mean, okay, maybe you can. Tell me, what do you got for me? Now, if you tell me to pray to Jesus, I've done that. I actually was in that school and graduated that school. I'm in a different school now, but thank you. Keep it if it's working for you. That don't work for me. We can all play in the sandbox together. We ain't all got to use the same tools. I want to bring integration and unity. I don't want to do no left hand path, right hand path, none of that shit. I don't want to do none of that. I just want to be a whole person. And I just want to help other people be a whole person. So Patreon, that will be the last thing that I post. I'm going to take a break. I need to take a break. Oh my gosh, we do lives every fucking 7 days. Every blue moon, I will not do it. If y'all only knew how much effort and sacrifice goes into building this community. It's not just about a business, but building this community. Yeah. So I got to take better care of myself. Yeah, so you won't see me as much. But you're going to be getting shit that you're not going to get from nobody else but Camps in the Oracle. Be sure of that. Be sure of that. Be sure of that. And one thing that I do know, I am powerful. I am very fucking powerful. And I have some stories to back that shit up. But I'm still human. And I need to be taken care of. So, yes, go to the Patreon. You don't do it for any other reason but to show some love. Maybe you feel like you don't need none of the shit that we share, and you just want to show some love. You can do that too. Throw us a donation or something. You know what I'm saying? If you want the address to send us a gift, or we have a list on Amazon of things, you know, items that we would love to have. Just let us know. Drop it below and let us know. We got you. We're going to connect you. Because if we don't start returning energy for energy, we're just creating more problems for ourselves. All right. Man, your third eye has just been kissed. Peace. Peace.